It's okay. What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining Dustin and myself for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance, Season 12. I believe this is episode 14. A couple things I want y'all to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples we're discussing in tonight's review. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but certainly not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. So I have not decided on whether I'm going to do a review on all three parts of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. I don't know.
That was an interesting reunion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The first part came out yesterday, and I did watch it. But I don't know if it's enough material for me to do a video for each individual one. But if I do put it out, then I'll definitely let you guys know. But Dustin, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good, but just had severe weather, so I didn't really get to watch the whole thing. But I got to watch a little bit part of it. But we just got to get through it.
Yeah, we definitely will. Yeah, it was thundering and raining a little bit earlier today, and now the sun is out. So, that's how weather works. Auntie Robin is here. He says, good evening, Auntie Robin. So glad that you are here. And then we also have Lady Virgo in the building. Lady Virgo saying good evening to everyone and happy Monday.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Happy Monday and good evening to you as well, Lady Virgo. So as I was telling Dustin before we went live, this was sort of kind of like a filler episode, at least for me, but excuse me, we'll go ahead and get to it. So let's start out with Aisha and Maxwell. So we did not see Maxwell at all this episode. However, Aisha went out shopping to find some fabrics and material for her wedding dress with Maxwell's sister Blaze. And, Blaze brought up some concerns that she had concerning the treatment of Maxwell once he gets over to America, which I'm so glad that Maxwell is voicing their concerns about the way that Aisha treats Maxwell. They're framing it as though they're nervous about how the country will accept him in general, but I feel as though they're thinking Aisha specifically, how she's going to treat him. And Aisha goes on to say, she doesn't necessarily address that directly. However, she does say that, she wants to move forward. She feels like Maxwell's family has all of the things that she wants. They're all married, they have kids, things of that nature. And for some reason, Aisha said that she feels as though they're trying to take that away from her. I don't believe that. I just feel as though that they're voicing genuine concern. Let's get to these comments before we move on. Auntie Robin says hi to Dustin. And then Auntie Robin also says 84 degrees and rain. Okay, so it's raining in New York right now. Yeah, like I said, it was raining a little bit earlier here.
Yeah, I'm in Illinois, so me and Robin is in the same boat right now.
Lady Virgo says to JoJo Speaks, to Dustin Butler, and to Auntie Robin, good evening to you guys and happy Monday. Good evening and happy Monday to you as well, Lady Virgo. So glad that you're here. Auntie Robin says hello to Lady Virgo. And then lastly, Auntie Robin says, Aisha all but called Blaze the devil. Yeah, she made a comparison to her situation to in the Bible where Peter was trying to get Jesus not to go through with his crucifixion. And Jesus told Peter, get behind me, Satan. Not saying that Peter himself was Satan, but saying something along those lines, but saying that the words that Peter was saying to him was not in line with Jesus's destiny. So I do agree with that, Auntie Robin. Like, she was trying to say that Blaze was practically the devil. But anyways, they look at some really nice fabrics. I thought those fabrics look really, really pretty. Nice and shiny. It seems like all the fabrics that they had in the store actually had a shine or a shimmer to it. But a little bit later on in the episode, Aisha goes to dinner with her godbrother Rod, as well as the family friend, female family friend. I forgot what her name was. And they also want to voice their concerns, and they feel as though Aisha's moving a little bit too fast. And Rod goes on with his with his issues with Maxwell. his main thing is that he does not feel like Maxwell is ready to go to America because his resume, his work history is not going to add up once he gets over to America. And Aisha's like, well, I mean, you're in a management position and don't you give people chances? Because, I mean, come on. Now, there are people that come here to America from different countries all of the time with next to nothing in their pockets or in their bank account, and they're able to
Mhm.
make it work. So with Maxwell coming over with Aisha, we saw the type of house that Aisha is living in. I'm assuming that's her parents' house. Aisha seems to be pretty not well off necessarily, but
Mhm.
she ain't begging for change outside on the corner. So I mean, Aisha's
He's definitely not
got a
hurting.
bit herself.
Mhm.
So it's not that Maxwell is coming over here with nothing, but that's the way that Rod is trying to express that to Aisha. And then Rod goes on to slam on the table, and then Aisha gets up out of her seat and leaves the restaurant and says that she does not do violence. We got one more comment from Auntie Robin, and then we'll move on. Auntie Robin says no. Aisha pretty much said that she expects expects that Rod will offer Maxwell a job. Yeah, she did say that. That because Rod was asking, well, who's the connection? And Ace was like, you're the connection. Um, of course, we know, we at least we have the feeling that Rod probably would not be too susceptible to offering Maxwell a job. To me, Rod has no reason to dislike Maxwell whatsoever. I understand that you might have your reservations concerning their relationship and the pace that they're
Well,
moving, but
anybody has reservations that comes to that, but you still have to support them. So I
the
mean,
simple fact that Rod knows nothing about Maxwell leads me to believe that he has no reason to have all of these reservations. Yes, you can assume that he might be a scammer. You can assume that he might just be using Asia to get over to America, but you don't know the man. And you've had one-on-one conversation with Maxwell, Rod. And for you to and he's just throwing out these random things because he does not know who Maxwell is. He does not know what Maxwell wants to do. He does not know what Maxwell's plans are. And to be honest, I really don't feel as though Rod and Aisha are as close as they're trying to make it seem as though they are. But for the
hmm
TV cameras, they want to present to us the
they
best
want to
type
make it
of
worse than it
storyline
actually is.
that they want to. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, we don't know what kind of coin Aisha has. And that house belongs to whom? I believe that is her parents' house, Auntie Robin. I believe that is her parents' house that she's living in, or it seems as though she's living in. I don't know if she just had them film at her parents' house because she doesn't want us to see her apartment or her living conditions. I don't know, but that's clearly her
Well, at the
parents'
time she
house.
lived with her parents.
Auntie Robin also says down in the
So
comments, I don't think Rod dislikes Maxwell as much as he is challenging Aisha's seemingly quick decision. To me, it sounds as though he doesn't like Maxwell. To me, but I could be wrong about that. But the way that I guess because of the way that he's framing all of his issues, it makes it seem as though it's all against Maxwell. Where I think he needs to frame his issues a little bit better, and say more, not as much. I don't trust Maxwell, as opposed to I don't trust you, but he's not framing it that way. So to me, it sounds as though he has the biggest problem with Maxwell. And then Auntie Robin also says her parents' house. My point exactly. Yeah. So I don't know how much Aisha's parents would be willing to help Maxwell out once he gets to America. I don't know, but y'all know how I feel about this. I don't think they have any business being together. They're going to be getting married. I'm assuming in the next episode, but we didn't see them in the preview for the next episode, so maybe
it's
they're
gonna be the next. It's gonna be 2 weeks. It's gonna be not this week, but the next week after next.
it could be, but she's saying that they're getting married tomorrow. In the
Oh, I
most
thought it was
recent
gonna be next week.
episode. Yeah, well, but the thing is, like, with them not being in the preview for next week, I'm assuming, like you said, Dustin, that it might be either 2 weeks out or maybe even further out. Well, who knows? But that's what we got from Aisha and Maxwell. Dustin, what are your thoughts on Maxwell's sister Blaze giving her, her reservations about their marriage, and then also Rod and the family friend talking to Aisha as well?
Well, I don't feel like that they have a. I mean, anybody has a right to voice their opinion, but when you're not when it's not you when it's when it's not your relationship, and I feel like that you should have a yes, you have a say in it that your family member, but sometimes you have to do it for yourself, and sometimes people don't agree with it. But that's just my opinion. I
Yeah,
don't really like Aisha anyway. So whatever Aisha decides to do, I don't agree. I don't like Aisha. I mean I like Maxwell, but I do Aisha. So whatever whatever they decide to do, then that's fine with me.
right. I agree with that. Auntie Robin says Rod is being protective. Also, he knows Aisha. He is probably privy to her making rash decisions. Also, he is finally putting his foot down. Notice how the sister and friend notice how the sister and friend said that Aisha Springs. Oh, okay. Got a continuation of the comment. Let me get it and get it out to you guys. Here we go. And Auntie Robin goes on to say, oh, that one's blurry. Sorry, guys. Please be patient with me as I'm reading these comments. It's a little bit of an issue. Anyways, Springs
It's struggle
things
today. We apologize.
like the last minute trip to Africa all the time, and they indulge her. Maybe his way of saying take a beat. Yeah. And Rod did say, what would you say if I were to say I'm not coming to the wedding and I'm going back to America? Um, do I think Rod really means that? I don't know. I really don't know.
I
I
do.
do feel as though Rod is putting on a performance for the cameras. It's hard for me to gauge what's true and what's not. So, it is what it is. Aisha's going to get married, whether they like it or not. And I believe that for sure.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
let's move on to Edward and Marissa. So Edward is
Hmm.
going to one of Marissa's classes that she teaches. She teaches aerobics class, I'm assuming in Pennsylvania. So she's an
Hmm.
aerobics instructor. Edward and Marissa are both saying that they're starting to do the things that each other wants them to do. Marissa is trying to be more affectionate with Edward. I'm assuming Marissa didn't specify what Edward is doing for her, but I'm assuming he's maybe taking more initiative, doing more things around the house, things of that nature. Once they get to the workout class, he says that he wants to start with like a 14 to 20 pound weight. She's telling him, you might want to start off a little bit lighter than that. She said no larger than an 8 pound weight is what she suggested that he pick out. Auntie Robin's got a comment down here saying Marissa is ultra controlling for sure, still dismissive for sure. And yeah, Marissa is probably my is
I don't like Marissa either.
Mm, I'm trying to decide whether she's my least favorite this season. I think she is. Yeah, Marissa is definitely going to be my
I
least
like
favorite
Edward though.
for this season. Yeah, I love Edward too. Edward's awesome. I love seeing his smiling face. He has such beautiful countenance. I feel as though he's a to me he's a gorgeous man in my opinion. I sometimes compare him to Sonny, who was from South Africa that we talked about a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, I love Edward. Edward is awesome to me. But it seems like things are going better between Edward and Marissa. Auntie Robin also says, Auntie Robin also says, let me click on the right comment here. She also says she must control the topic of conversation, which is unfair. I believe that is unfair as well, Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin also says when she told Edward to put his napkin in his lap, oh my God, yeah, she's the micromanagement of Marissa towards Edward is so annoying to me. But us move on with the summary of what they did this episode. So they go through the workout class. It's clear that Edward is struggling just a little bit. He said that he said that it was nothing but women in that particular class. But I guess he was just a special guest. But yeah, Edward went through it during that workout class. And then a little bit later on in the episode, Edward and Marissa sat down for dinner. But before they went to dinner, they were getting ready, or at least Marissa was getting ready. She was curling her hair, and Edward said something with like sort of kind of broken English, and Marissa corrected his English, and that kind of got on my nerves as well. Like to me, broken English is kind of cute, especially if it's coming from a cute guy. So I'm
Mm,
not going to correct. I would never correct anyone's English. Like for me, that's a little bit like condescending in
mm-hmm.
my opinion at least. Auntie
Okay.
Robin says I couldn't be with a man that I felt the need to coach and parent all the damn time. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'm nobody's daddy, to be honest. I am nobody's daddy. And then Auntie Robin has one more comment, and then we'll move on with their dinner. And so Auntie Robin also says, "I'm surprised that Marissa did not announce that she was paying for the dinner." Yeah, that's. I was watching someone. I was watching a YouTuber react to the first season of Girlfriends, and I don't know if you guys who have seen Girlfriends remember Tony getting back with her ex Greg.
I
And
do.
they were at a dinner, and she noticed someone, I guess some of her partners in real estate, and she kind of put the money under the table for Greg to pay for it. And yeah, it was it's real interesting when you get into those types of situations. But yeah, she corrected his English while she was getting her hair done. He Edward thought nothing of it, so I'm glad that he didn't take offense to that. I personally would take offense to that if I was Edward, but Edward seems to be in love with Marissa,
I would too.
unfortunately. But they go out for dinner. As Auntie Robin pointed out in one of her comments, she instructed him to put his napkin on his lap. I think Marissa gets a kick out of bossing Edward
She's
around.
still
I think she
controlling.
type of satisfaction out of telling a grown man what to do. And I think that there are some women out there who just get a kick out of that. And I personally hate to see men getting pushed around, especially on national TV. But Edward goes on to bring up the subject of the possibility of Marissa cheating, and he's saying that that would be on her. Marissa is continuously trying to stay away from that type of conversation. She thinks this is the wrong time, which I find very interesting because it was just a couple episodes ago when Marissa was trying to have the hard conversation. Edward didn't feel like doing it, and Marissa was pushing and pushing and pushing him to have the conversation. So it's clear that it has to go Marissa's way. It's what Marissa wants, when she wants it, and how she wants it, and that's it. So Marissa ends up getting up and walking away from the table. I don't see Marissa and Edward working out. Justin had sent me some information that Marissa and Edward were essentially fired. They apparently had gone against their NDA. Apparently, Marissa's
Mm-hmm.
mother had spoken out about their relationship or their situation or something of that nature. So allegedly, they won't be a part of the tell-all. But I hope that we at least get some type of conclusion with Marissa and Edward, and that
I
prayerfully
don't think we're
being.
going to get one.
Dustin, what were your thoughts on Edward going to the workout class as well as their conversation at the dinner?
I think they're just doing that for the cameras.
Mm,
I don't see him going there on a daily basis. I
going
think they're
where?
doing that for the show.
To go to the workout class?
Yeah, the workout class. I don't think he's doing the workout class
Oh
to
yeah,
get
they
the.
definitely just did that for the cameras for sure.
Oh, you think it was okay? I guess I didn't know he was in there for.
Oh
I
well,
just
that's
I
my
didn't
assumption. I don't know for sure,
I didn't
Dustin,
get the
but
feeling that I don't get the feeling that he was interested, but maybe he was. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
But,
yeah, it is what it is. But
mhm.
essentially, I just want Edward to break up with Marissa. Just leave her high and dry.
Yeah.
She's
I don't think that he's happy with Marissa, and that's what bothers me the most.
it doesn't seem like either one of them are happy with either one of them. So,
Right.
it is what it is. But let's move on to Josh and Katie. So, Josh and Katie, they're out riding bikes, having a good old time, and then they go to sit down in the park to have a little bit of a picnic. And Katie is dreading this conversation that she's about to have with Josh concerning them opening up their relationship after they get married. Katie is saying that, and maybe she doesn't feel like kissing anyone else now, which I find very interesting. Her saying, since she was trying to kiss people during her birthday party a couple of episodes ago. But this is what she's saying. She's saying that she doesn't have the urge to kiss or hook up. Keyword hook up, meaning that it's not just kissing that she's doing, she's hooking up with these people. She doesn't have the urge to kiss or hook up with anyone else right now, but she doesn't know how she'll feel 5 to 10 years
What does she?
later down the line.
So you
Which I
mean she's
think
gonna do it in the future?
That's what it seems like to me, that she already
That's
knows
not right.
herself.
If you don't have the feeling now, what makes you want to have the feeling in the future? She doesn't. She doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think that goes to show that she's still having that feeling now. Of course, she's
Right.
having that feeling now. She was just trying to kiss people at her birthday party a couple of episodes ago. What is she talking about? She's not having that feeling now.
Mhm.
She's not telling the truth as far as that's concerned. At least
She
not in
ain't
my
nothing but a,
opinion.
she's not nothing. She's not nothing but a big liar.
So she brings up the subject to Josh. And Josh feels blindsided, completely blindsided. He thought that they had gotten past this. They've had so many conversations about her kissing other people. They haven't discussed like hooking up with other people, but I'm assuming if you have an issue with someone kissing someone else, you would definitely have an issue with them hooking up with someone else. But Josh is not here for it. Josh is not here for it whatsoever. Katie goes on to say, "Well, I mean, don't you think that a little bit later on down the line, you might feel different in a way?" And Josh is like, "No, not at all, not whatsoever." Katie clearly is not ready for marriage. I have no idea whatsoever
Why is
why
she even on the show?
she has put herself in this position to get married to someone when she's not ready at all. I don't know if she just wanted to be on the show. I don't know if she wanted fame. I don't know if she wanted clout. I don't know what she wanted, but she clearly does not want a marriage with anyone. It's not just Josh that she doesn't want to marry. She doesn't want to be married to anyone. And I believe she's 29, if I'm not mistaken.
She's
So,
29.
yeah, yeah, she is. Yeah, she's actually 27. Katie's only 27 years old. Josh being 30.
I thought she was 29. My apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. I thought she was 29 as well. But yes, Katie's only 27. And so she clearly has not sold her oats as of yet. And so she's still got time to do that. So I don't know why she's forcing herself to be in this relationship with Josh when she clearly has the tendency to go outside of her relationship and hook up and kiss other people. So I don't know if or when Josh is going to cut this off, but I will be really disappointed. I already said a couple of episodes ago, I'm done with feeling sorry for Josh, and I'm still done with feeling sorry for Josh. But as far as the conclusion is concerned, I fully want to expect for Josh to break it off with Katie, but I don't see that happening. Dustin, what are your thoughts on this conversation with them concerning an open
Well,
relationship and Josh's reaction to it?
good luck to Katie and Josh, and that's the end of that for me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I don't.
I'm done with it. I'm done with that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have, I hope I don't have any, I don't have any hope for either one of them, to be honest. If they want to break it off, go ahead and break it off. I support it. But if they don't, then let them be.
yeah, I don't support them being together whatsoever. And then we
I
saw
don't
in the
support them
preview
either.
for the next episode that Josh's parents are coming to meet Katie's parents. And Josh's parents' reaction to what Katie has been saying as far as her not kissing other people
I
clearly
don't
caught
feel like
Josh's
I
parents.
don't feel like we're getting anywhere with them. I don't feel like we're getting anywhere with this couple because they're not moving any further.
We're not getting anywhere with Josh and Katie whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
Which is why sometimes I feel like we don't need to talk about them necessarily. But I like trashing Katie, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I get something out of that. But
That's why I
anyway,
keep it short and sweet. That's why I kept it short and sweet with this.
but yeah, Josh's parents clearly have seem to have never met Katie before and don't know the type of vernacular that she goes with when she's in conversation. So it is what it is. But let's move on to Thomas and Paula. So Paula's
Mm-hmm.
parents are coming to California for their wedding. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, her entire family, 8 people in all, will be staying in Thomas and Paula's apartment.
That's a red
Um,
flag.
Now, Thomas wants Paula to get out some camping gear. They've got some inflatable mattresses, things of that nature. It seems like they do have an actual bedroom in his apartment. They just never put the cameras in the bedroom. So I guess maybe Thomas just wanted to put his bed in his living room because he didn't want cameras in the bedroom. I don't know what the case is, but anyways, so when Paula's family comes and Thomas is speaking. I guess he's speaking Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm so glad that he speaks the language, so they won't be able to have side conversations about him without him understanding what they're talking about. Excuse me, but yeah, he seems to, her family seems to love him. Her nieces, he's getting along with them very well. They're running up to him, hugging him. He's putting them on his shoulders. It's a really good family time with them together. Um, Auntie Robin's got a comment down here, and Auntie Robin says Thomas was cool and the gang when Paula's family arrived, but he crashed all the way out once they got inside. Well, Thomas did lay down some ground rules. They can't wear any shoes inside of the apartment, and also they can't spray any perfumes. And he also said that they can't use any soaps that have perfume in it. And then Paula goes on to say, "Well, you don't want them to use soap." He clarified, "No, I just don't want you using soap with perfume in it. There are unscented soaps that are out there. I think Dove
Hmm.
has some unscented soaps that are available."
I use unscented soap, so I know there's one to you. One to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Auntie Robin says they speak Portuguese in Brazil. Okay, all right. So they speak Portuguese. I just figured since they were in South America, they were speaking Spanish. I guess that's ignorant of me. But thank you so much for correcting me, Auntie Robin. I appreciate that. You are always educating me every single time I go live, girl. And then
Thank you,
Auntie
Robin. I
Robin,
appreciate it.
and then Auntie Robin also says, "Lay down." He was yelling at them. Well, I think his voice was a little bit raised because there were a lot of people in the room, and he wanted to make sure that he was heard. I don't know. I guess I'm sort of kind of a Thomas apologist because I really, really do enjoy Thomas.
I
I
do
love
too.
the fact that he does not allow Paula to walk all over him. Paula keeps saying that he's controlling everything, and she has no say in what they do or what's going on and things of that nature. It's like, well, I mean, Thomas would have the majority of the power since you're in his country, you're living in his apartment, you're using his credit cards. Like, Thomas has the right to have a little bit of control. Thomas is not a controlling man whatsoever. It's just that he's asking you not to spray perfume so that he does not have an allergic reaction. So I personally have no issue with Thomas. Y'all may feel differently, but that's just my opinion on Thomas. But they found some what seemed to be spoiled meat in the refrigerator. Thomas says, "Well, I went off for a work trip, and then I came back, and I bought it before I went on the work trip. So when I came back, it was already spoiled. So there was a little bit of arguing going on between Thomas and Paula while the family was there." And then Paula, the entire family actually goes out for a walk. Let me read these comments from Auntie Robin real quick, and then I'll conclude with my summary of Thomas and Paula's section of this particular episode. Auntie Robin says Brazil is the largest country in South America. Gotcha. Okay. I think I knew that. I might have known that. I don't know, but thank you so much for educating us on that, Auntie Robin. And then Olivia is here. Hey, Olivia. Olivia says, "Love the hair." Thank you so much, Olivia. I appreciate it, girl. I love me a nice ponytail. I love me a ponytail, and it's so beautiful to see your face as well, Olivia. Thank you so much for being here, boo. Um, so yeah, so Paula, Thomas, and the family, they go out for a walk. They see the beach, and they're having a good time together. And then Paula's brother takes her aside, and he wants to have a conversation with her, asking her if she's sure that she wants to do this. They're seeing things in Thomas that they don't necessarily agree with, and it wasn't until Paula's family got here that I understood what the real disconnect is between Thomas and Paula. It's a disconnect over their culture. It's the certain things that Thomas finds important for him, they see as just little things, and the things that he finds as big things. Well, the things that he finds as big things, they see as little things, and the things that he sees as little things, they see as big things. So it's just a big cultural difference between the two families. So man, I don't. I don't want them to stay together because I don't think Paula deserves Thomas, to be honest. I think she needs someone from her own country so that she doesn't have to not have to deal with these cultural differences. Paula keeps saying that she's not sure if she's going to go through with the wedding or not. Of course, when you're on a TV show like 90 Day Fiance, these types of things are said quite a bit, quite often. So I'm not surprised that she's saying these things, but it is what it is. Auntie Robin says hello to Olivia. Olivia says hello to Auntie Robin and happy Monday to her. And then Auntie Robin says cultural or value differences. I think it's a little bit of both, Auntie Robin. I think it's a little bit of both. Um, the thing is, I don't see what big things that Thomas is ignoring in Paula and Thomas's relationship. So if they were to specify exactly the things that Thomas is ignoring that they would consider a big thing, maybe it'd be easier for me to kind of catch on to where they're going with that type of conversation. But you
Hmm.
know, it is what it is. But I'm assuming that they're going to go through with the marriage, especially since Paula's parents and family are there. So you know, it is what it is. Auntie Robin, Olivia says both for sure. Absolutely. I think it is both as well, Olivia. And then Auntie Robin has another comment down here, and then we'll get to Dustin's thoughts on this. Oh, I'm sorry. Another comment from Olivia. Olivia says Thomas is cheap. Paula likes nice things. Yeah, she does. I don't know. Yeah, Thomas is quite a cheap man, and he actually bragged about that to Paula's family. He said, "Y'all see how the house is now? I had to spend zero money to make my apartment available or accommodating for you guys." And you know, Paula likes to spend money. She bought a mat, a $70 mat, a $70 mat. Now, I don't know how it is out in California, but in South Carolina, I don't know anybody who's paying $70 for a mat. But you know, it is what
I'm
it is.
not doing it either, especially in this economy.
Right. I'm a whole lot like Thomas. I like to hold on to my money. So it is what it is. But Dustin, what were your thoughts on Thomas's interactions with Paula's family and then Paula's
Mm.
conversation with her brother concerning her getting married?
Well, I mean, the conversation with her brother, I really didn't. I thought the conversation went pretty well, but I
It
do
did.
believe, I, I do, I do think that Thomas has the right to be concerned about, her spraying things in his house, because that's his house too. She has to live with him. So if you don't like him, I mean, if you don't like the situation, then you can, in my opinion, you can figure out another way to where to live, or you can find, or you guys can both live in separate houses. Um,
Yeah.
you know, that's how I feel. I don't think the situation with the living situation is going to work out very, very long, because
Mm.
she wants to do what she wants to do, and he wants to do what he wants to do. I don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah, I honestly don't see them meeting in the middle at all. And it's so funny that Paula was so peaceful when they were out in Charlotte with Thomas's father and his stepmother. She was so peaceful out there. They had no issues, no arguments, no nothing. But as soon as they get back to California, they're at each other's throats again. So it is what it is. Olivia's got another comment here. She says, I think Paula intentionally wanted her family to stay with them, thinking it would persuade Thomas to buy more furniture. You might be onto something there, Olivia. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she wanted him to do. You know what? Maybe she suggested that her family come there so he would buy the furniture ahead of them coming there, so that they would just have more furniture in the apartment. So I think you might be onto something with that, Olivia. And then Olivia also says, LOL, it's common on the West Coast. Okay. I had a feeling that it might be a West Coast, East Coast difference there, because in Columbia, South Carolina, I don't know anybody unless you rich like that paying $70 for a darn mat. Like a
I
mat that's
wouldn't do
going
it.
outside, by the way, like child. And then Olivia says, exactly. And then we have another comment, and then we will move on to our final couple here. Um, Auntie Robin says, Auntie Robin says, a red flag for me was when Paula's mother said that she always wanted to live in the US. Yeah. It makes me feel as though Paula just wants to be out in the US. The thing is, I feel like Thomas might be more into Paula than Paula is into Thomas. I don't know if she truly is that madly in love with Thomas.
I
I
don't
don't
think they
know.
are.
I don't know. It's really hard to differentiate with them because the thing with 90 Day Fiance is all the couples have extremely high highs and extremely low lows,
So
but there
low.
seems to be no middle ground when it comes to any of these couples here on 90 Day Fiance, and that goes along. That just adds to the frustration of being a viewer of this show. But you know, we get through it nonetheless. But yeah, at the end of the day, honestly feel as though Thomas can do better than Paula. Paula clearly does not respect his boundaries. She clearly does not respect his allergies. She clearly does not respect his opinion on things, his opinion on how to spend money, anything of that nature. It doesn't seem like that like Paula respects Thomas in any way, shape, or form. At least not to me. I could be wrong about that. Auntie Robin says, I think they like each other. I do think that they like each other. I do, like, on the first full day in America, the night after they, had their fun, sex time, they were getting along very well. And that's the thing, like when Thomas and Paula get along, they get along very well and they do seem like a loving couple. It's just that when they're at each other's throats, it's hard to tell like what's real and what's not. But I guess all relationships have their ups and downs, and we're just seeing it in plain view here on 90 Day Fiance.
Hmm.
Olivia says she was dating another guy when they met. Oh, I didn't know that. And Thomas flew to Brazil to break them up. What? Basically, and get with her. He loves her more. Yeah, I guess I can say that that might be the truth. That might be the truth, Olivia. And then Auntie Robin says nothing more, no great love. Yeah, I it's hard to tell with Thomas and Paula. It's really hard to tell. But let's move on to our final couple, which is Mito and Debbie. So Mito and Debbie, they're going to a cooking class. Mito has an issue with Debbie's cooking skills, which I can't say that I'm surprised about. I honestly don't see
Hmm.
Debbie in the kitchen slaving away, making her man a meal. Like Debbie doesn't seem like that type of person. But who knows? But Mito has an issue with her cooking. Um, and also Debbie wants Mito to start cooking. Debbie says that she gets home from work at around 5:45 in the PM, and she wants to have some dinner waiting on the table for her. So Debbie says that she's taking Mito to the cooking class so he can start cooking, and I guess Mito is like he's taking Debbie to the cooking class so she can start cooking. Either way, they both are about to learn how to cook. We got another comment down here. Olivia says Debbie and Jenny went to the same cooking school. That's funny. Debbie and Jenny went to the same cooking school. That's great. Their instructor, their chef, I forgot what his name was, but Debbie goes on to explain how they ended up getting engaged. Now, when the chef asked them, is there a special occasion? And then Mito just looked at Debbie, and Debbie said, "We just got engaged." Like Mito does not want to say out loud anything that has to do with him being in a relationship with Debbie. Like I just find that to be hilarious. And then while they are taking the heads off of shrimp, Debbie explains the story of how they ended up getting engaged, and the face that chef was making, even though he said, well, that's what love's all about. Like, he clearly was not computing what it was that was going on with this relationship. So they go ahead to sit down to start eating. And Mito finally says to Debbie that he loves her. Now, he doesn't say it until after they got engaged, but he finally said it. And Debbie just had the biggest smile run across her face. And so then a little bit later on in the episode, Debbie meets up with her two best friends because they do not know that they are engaged and they do not know that they're going to get married the next day. Before she meets up with her friends, she does say that she's going to have a very small wedding. She's only inviting her two children to her wedding, and it's just going to be her, Mito, and her two kids, and that's it. She's not even inviting her best friends to the wedding. Which I guess I can understand why she's doing that. It doesn't seem like her friends necessarily like Mito, especially with the experience they had with them when they went to the haunted house a couple of episodes ago, which went so left. So I get why Debbie does not want to invite her friends to the wedding. I do agree with that decision. Not that I think that they should be getting married to begin with, but hey, this is what we've got going on. But Mito finally tells Debbie that he loves her, and she's so happy about that. Debbie's such a mystery to me. I cannot figure her out for the life of me. I don't know if she genuinely does want to be with Mito and believes that Mito wants to be with her, or if she's just doing this all for the cameras. Like I have a really hard time understanding why Debbie is here.
What you doing
It's,
for the
it's
family?
really hard for me to try to figure out. But Debbie goes on to meet with her friends. She shows them her engagement ring, and she tells them that she's getting married on the next day. They are completely shocked by this news. And they're meeting at a flower shop so Debbie can get some flower arrangements for her wedding ceremony. So they go in, they're treated with a little bit of champagne, a little champagne. And, they're asking her, are you guys good? Are you on good terms? Are you fighting? Is he treating you well? What's going on? What is the status of your relationship? What is happening with the two of you that you all of a sudden have gotten engaged, are going to get married on the next day? Auntie Robin says, I'd be damned if I have been your supporter all of this time, then meet you at a florist to be told that I'm not invited to the wedding. Damn. Yeah. I get that, Auntie Robin. I really do. However, I understand why Debbie does not want them to be there because her friends clearly don't see it from me though. And
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, when I get married, I do not want anyone who has any issues with either me or my significant other to be in my wedding because that day is for us. It's for the two of
Mhm.
us, not for any of the haters. Not to say that her friends don't have a valid reason to be upset with the fact that she's going to get married. However, it's Debbie and Mito's day, and Debbie's going to have it her way. So I don't disagree with Debbie not inviting her friends to the wedding. I don't think that it speaks well of her as a friend, but I get why she's doing it. I do get why she's doing it. Auntie Robin also says, I feel like this is the first time we're really we're really hearing about her son. It is the first time we're hearing about her son. And her son is very handsome too. I think she said that he was 24 or something of that nature. He's currently in college and he's also working as well. And then Auntie Robin goes on to say also she is capping. Oh, she is capping about not marrying if he ain't there. Yeah. She got a text message while they were at the florist shop. She got a text message from her son saying that his boss wants him to work, I guess, during the time that her and Vito are going to be getting married. And Debbie goes on to say that she's not going to get married if her son is not there. I don't know if I believe that either, Auntie Robin, especially with her being on a show called 90 Day Fiance. Like, y'all have already planned it. Y'all have already got all these plans in place. Y'all gonna do this thing. Like, I don't think production cares whether her son is there or not. Production is going to push her to have that wedding. I don't think production can make her do anything she doesn't want to do. However, they're definitely going to push her to go through the wedding, although her son may not actually be attending the wedding. Olivia says, y'all think that text was staged? For sure, Olivia. Absolutely. She just so happens to get a text message from her son saying that he might have to work at the time that she's getting married. That was absolutely staged. Much like Emma getting those text messages from that Muhammad guy that she was engaged to before she met what was his name? Um, whatever his name was. I'm talking about the couple we were talking about, or we were discussing rather, in before the 90 days. Like, of course, I definitely believe, like, I did believe that Muhammad didn't exist, but I definitely think that Debbie's son exists for sure. But yeah, that was staged for sure, at least in my opinion. And then Olivia
Yeah,
goes on to say,
I think that's all signals for doing.
yeah,
That's
Olivia goes on to say the son wants no part of it, and I don't blame him. Yeah, I'm sure. I have a feeling Debbie's son knows what his mother's doing. Has an eagle eye on his mother. Maybe she might have done something similar like this in the past. Who knows? I don't know what I don't know what Debbie's love life looked prior to Mito coming into her life, but he sees some red flags himself. And then Auntie Robin says, yes, staged. Um, so Dustin, what are your thoughts on Mito finally telling Debbie that he loves her? And do you think that Debbie will go through with the wedding if her son is not able to attend?
No, I don't think they're gonna have the wedding. I don't think they're gonna have it, and I don't think
Oh,
that. I think that out the price to see it. At the price to see what he said he loved her, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna have the wedding. I think the wedding's gonna be postponed.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. maybe for drama's sake, Debbie might not go through with the wedding if her son is not there. But I fully expect them to go through with the wedding. Like I told you guys, my mother told me that she heard that they had already gotten married. So I can only assume that, that they have gotten married. But who knows? We all know, I think we all know who have been watching this season thus far that Mito cares nothing about Debbie. It took him so long to finally tell Debbie that he loved her, and he waited until after he proposed to her. Like, geez Louise. Then Auntie Robin goes on to say, Mito telling Debbie that he loves her is like is like that commercial for Chinese nips. For cheese nips. It's like that commercial for cheese nips. Yeah, he don't give a damn about Debbie at all. But we'll see what happens as the season goes on. It seems as though we're getting closer and closer to the finale. Well, we're all obviously getting closer and closer to the finale. But I'm just ready to get to this tell-all because I'm getting tired of these couples. They got way too many episodes of 90 Day Fiance, in my opinion. But anyways, Auntie Robin also says in the commercial, the guy declares his love for the woman while fantasizing about cheese nips. Yeah. And is it just me, or does it seem like Mito's hair might be a wig? I don't know. It seems like it might not be easier. I don't know. Anyways, that's all we have for this review. I'm so glad that you guys decided to join us. Auntie Robin, Lady Virgo, Olivia. Once again, great to see your beautiful face, Olivia. I'm so glad that you joined us for this review. My reading the comments is always my favorite part of doing my live shows. So thank you guys so much for engaging with me. I really, really appreciate it. It makes doing videos such a pleasure. It really does. So Dustin, why don't you go ahead and give the good people your social media contacts real quick?
Message me, contact the Dustin Butler on Facebook, Dustin Butler. My Instagram is Dustin Butler 700. My TikTok is Dustin Butler 24. Of course, I always want to thank my whole entire team for being here. Jonathan, thank you for always being here. And hopefully see y'all next week.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $ Jonathan Lee 07. That's $ JONATHANLEE 07. Thank you all so much for joining Dustin and myself for this particular review. Be sure to join me this Thursday and every single Thursday for that matter for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki as well as our friend Bianca Edwards. We always have a great time talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. So please be sure to join us every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We got one more comment from Auntie Robin. Excuse me, I'm sorry about this gas, y'all. And then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Auntie Robin says, also, I told you that those folks are wearing wedding bands. Yeah, I have to remember to look out for those things. I really do have to remember to look out for those things. But yes, be sure to join me on Thursday at night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. Also, be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces for our review on season 12, episode 15 of 90 Day Fiance. Hope you guys have a safe week. Stay safe out there. Love you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.